Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am PJ. It's been a while. I spend all my time on Patreon every day. But I've been talking on Patreon lately about a couple things, and I wanted to bring you kind of like the meat of something. The first thing I've been talking about, I just did like 2 videos on it, is the drones that are in New Jersey. The government is lying to you. They always do. And with my background, I'm fine with the government not telling we the people everything. There's a lot of things we don't need to know, but the government should never lie to the American people. And they're lying again. They're saying there's nothing to worry about. We don't know where they're from. We don't know who's controlling them, but there's nothing to worry about. Well, that's crap right there. If you don't know where they're from and you don't know who's controlling them, you don't know that there's nothing to worry about. That's one. And then 2, out of the same mouth that says there's nothing to worry about, they put out a bulletin to the New Jersey police or something. If you find a downed drone, do not approach it, call hazmat, yada yada. Come on, man, we're not that stupid. So I talk about that and what I think it is. And then I talked about Sean Ryan recently had 2 guests on his podcast, Sarah Adams and his name escapes me at the moment. He's a retired Special Forces lieutenant colonel, I think. Anyway, they were both talking about an attack on the homeland, and they make a good case for it. It's coming. Look, all kinds of, and now I'm getting to the bottom line of what I want to talk about to you on this video. There's all kinds of things coming. Read your Bible. There's all kinds of things coming. The 4 horsemen, the horses are, I was going to say being saddled. I think they're already tacked up. I think the regulators are getting ready to mount. And there are 4 things that are going to get you. No matter if it's drones from outer space or terrorist, October 7th attack or pandemic 2.0 or, volcanoes or whatever. There's 4 things that are most likely to get you, and 4 things that you need to be prepared to handle. And I submit you need to be prepared to handle them right now. Now, you're not. Most of you are not prepared to handle these 4 things right now, but you need to be. And that's my way of telling you, quit lollygagging. Quit watching videos like PJ on YouTube and go, yeah, he's right, and eating your Doritos and drinking your Diet Coke, and get out there and get ready. 4 things that are going to get you. Starvation, people behaving badly, medical issues, and weather phenomenon. And with weather, I include things like wildfire and stuff like that. Natural disaster type stuff. Tsunami, earthquake, whatever. I call that weather. Maybe I should call it natural disasters. First thing, which will affect most people, starvation. Most people do not have enough food in their home. How long, it's a rhetorical question, YouTube, how long could you lock your front and back door and just stay in your house, not leave, and eat 3 squares a day? Eat 3 meals a day. How much food do you have in your house to do that? This includes water. The ability for you to have water, not having to go across town, go across Sniper Alley to get it out of the one pipe that everybody in your community is pulling it out of. Starvation. When the stores stop operating, most people are going to panic. The federal government ain't coming to save you. The federal government can't save the people in Western North Carolina if there's an event that covers the entire United States or Europe or wherever you are. FEMA or your version of FEMA is not going to be able to help you. You're going to be on your own. And so starvation. So you need, step 1, take steps to have a robust food supply. Now, I'm fond of saying, a lot of people buy like Augustin Farms or My Patriot Supply, or you're a little bit more industrious and maybe have a little bit less money. Therefore, you package your own wheat, corn, rice, and beans with Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers or whatever. And so let's say you've got 5 years of food for you and your family. I don't care if you have 100 years of food. Once you crack open that first bucket of emergency food, you start the stopwatch to your starvation. At some point, that food's going to run out. Unless you're, and then this is where I draw the difference between prepper and survivalist. I really think I'm a survivalist, not a prepper. Preppers, in my mind, you can define it however you want. I don't care. But preppers like prepare for like the hurricane or this thing or that thing that just lasts a very limited period of time. I'm talking about it's quite possible that your life could change forever. And I don't care how much food you have stored, at some point you're going to eat through it. What's your plan then? And that's why I stole this from Pastor TJ at Bear Independent. You need to be a net producer of calories, not a net consumer. You need to be able to produce your own calories. I know that is like a bridge way too far for most of you, but I'm telling you, you'll get to that point where you think about that. So starvation, people behaving badly. People are already starting to behave badly, more than just bad guys. People are getting a little crazy. Let something burble, the disturbance in the force, and people are going to be acting the fool. People are going to think they're starving on day 2 of no food. They haven't eaten in 2 days. They're going to think they're starving, and they're going to do crazy bad things. People behaving badly. That's going to affect a lot of people. They just made the problem worse by behaving badly. You know what I mean. You need to be able to protect you and yours. Everybody in America immediately goes to the Glock 19. Not me, PJ. I prefer the SIG P226. Whatever. Americans go to handguns. If it gets as bad as I think it could, you're going to need more than handguns, people. And so Americans are great at buying firearms and ammo. Ammo just stacks so nice. When you buy it by the 1,000-round case, you can just stack it. And you can go, look at that. I got 10,000 rounds, 5.56, and I have 5 AR-15s. I don't care. Do you know how to shoot it? I mean, do you really know how to shoot it? Do you know how to shoot it in the way it was intended? Which is not necessarily sitting at a bench and going, right? I mean, so there's training to be done. And even if you've been trained, you have to continue training. You have to, or those skills perish. They definitely get very much weaker. Ask me how I know. And people behaving badly sometimes have to be dealt with harshly. What if you don't have a firearm? Or what if it no worky anymore? Do you know how to fight? Can you fight? A big thing that runs through almost every one of these categories is personal fitness. Can you run with your bug out bag on your back 100 yards that way, do 15 burpees, pick up your bag and run it back here, and then shoot targets? That's too hard. That's not a hard thing to do when things are going crazy. Can you carry your loved one from upstairs who's unconscious downstairs and out the front door while the house is on fire? Can you load up your bug out vehicle to get away just in time without having a heart attack? Start hitting the road. Start getting some road time. Rucking, running, whatever. But people behaving badly, be able to deal with that. Medical. Hey, let's face it, some people have medical issues that if there's no power, they're going to die. I'm sorry about that. I can't help you there. You can do things to try and extend your power. Let's say you're on insulin, and if you don't get it, you die. Some of those solar generators that I advertise on here, maybe you could try one of them in a small refrigerator and figure out how to get a robust supply of insulin. I have no idea how long it lasts or what. I mean, that's your problem. You got to solve it. I don't know. But some people are going to die. But a lot of people don't have to. You can learn up to advanced medical training if you want. I just did a video on Patreon where I told people you don't have enough medical training. RefugeMedical.com. I have taken many of their classes. They're friends of mine, Truth in Advertising, but I have not had better emergency medical instruction anywhere except in SF, and they were on par. In Special Forces, they were on par with what I got at Refuge Medical. It was much better than anything else I got in the Army, and I got a lot of other medical training in the Army. They're awesome. They're great. You may know somebody who's great. Awesome. Get some advanced medical training, get some gear, and carry it. Do you have a tourniquet on you? I do. All our people do. We all have robust first aid kits in our vehicles, in our homes. And here's the thing, your first aid kit is not enough. I tell people that. If you've ever been a volunteer firefighter or an EMT or a cop, and you've dealt with a gross traffic accident, injuries, the amount of material that is used on just 1 to 4 people right there on the side of the road is amazing. Gauze, tape, stuffs. They get them to the hospital and all that gets thrown in the trash and they use more stuff. And if it's a really bad wound, then they have to redress it every day or whatever. We're talking bins and bins, tote bins of medical supplies. Do you have that? Do you know how to treat a fever and diarrhea without going to the emergency room? Do you know how to treat a broken bone without being able to go to the doctor? These types of things. If you are on, a lot of Americans, I'm not sure about Europe, but a lot of Americans' health issues is self-inflicted. You smoke, you drink too much, you eat too many Twinkies, you drink Diet Coke or real Coke or high fructose corn syrup, and you're just killing yourself. And you don't work out. Heal yourself. Eat better food. It's getting harder to eat good food. We're going back to starvation and producing your own calories. It's getting hard. They used to say you can eat your way around the outside of the grocery store for the good food, because that's your produce and your dairy and your meat, right? Well, they're getting ready to put that mRNA in almost everything. That's biblical too, by the way. Not going there in this video. So once again, it's getting to the point where you're going to have to produce your own food. But heck, do you even have it? Health. Eat right. Exercise. Do the things. And then finally, weather, nature. Have you taken the steps, if you're surrounded by forests, to fight fire? Heck, have you taken the steps to fight fire anyway? There's no fire department coming if something happens. Some people behaving badly are going to start fires. Some people acting like the fool because they don't know squat. The amount of Americans that don't know how to cook, period, let alone cook over a fire, is outrageous. But there's going to be fires, and it could spread to something you care about. Do you have the ability to put out a fire? Have you thought about how you would do that? Do you have the ability to evacuate? When was the last time you did a fire drill in your house, most especially if you have children? Fires, earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, all those things. If it can affect your snowstorms, if it can affect your area, what's your plan? If you live in Phoenix, what's your plan for when the grid goes down in June? My understanding is people will die in places like that because if they don't have air conditioning, they will just die. Have a plan. I was kind of scolding, sorry. Let me give you hope. If you prepare for those 4 things, starvation, that includes water, people behaving badly, security, protect yourself, medical, everything from your personal medical condition to being able to treat, do medical training. And I was talking about Refuge Medical. They have 3 really good courses, Responder 1, 2, and 3. And a lot of people out there are afraid to take Responder 3. And out of the 3, that's the most important. Yes, you have to have 1 and 2 before you take 3. And usually they put them all together in a package. But people are afraid because there's videos and stuff, and people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's scary. My wife and I did Refuge Medical 3 when we were both 60 years old, and I had bad knees. I still have bad knees, and I'm older than that now. You can do it. You can do it. They're not going to kill you. It's all just designed to put you in a very stressful situation and force you to react to serious things. And you will be glad you took it if you take it. Get medical training. Heck, if you can just get Red Cross First Aid, go get that. You know, get the Boy Scout Merit Badge book. Learn how to do that. But that's medical. And then starvation, people behaving badly, medical, and then weather. Be prepared to deal with whatever natural disasters that can affect your area. Gang, if you do that, it doesn't matter if the drones are the Chinese drones or the Nephilim drones or the U.S. government getting ready to do this with the drones. It doesn't matter if the Russians nuke New York City with their special bomb or the Chinese invade. It just, if you take care of those 4 things, you'll be covered. Focus on that. Do something positive instead of just, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Take some action. And beating a dead horse, I know, but the other thing I'm famous for saying is kuhimp. And I didn't invent it. Yeshua did. But come out of her, my people. Move out of the built-up areas. Bad things are going to be worse when there's a high concentration of people. Get rural. Take a longer commute to work if you have to. That'll help a lot. Be prepared to be on your own with the deepest meaning of that. And when I say on your own, I am including with you on your own your peeps, your people, your tribe, your clan, your mag, your team, because we're going to need people for what's coming. All right, that should give you enough to think about. I do wish you all well, and yes, I am on Patreon almost every single day, most days except Shabbat. I'm on Patreon. And if you want, why don't you just join for a month? If I could give you a free monthly membership, I would. I don't have the ability to do that. Join for a month. I bet you'll stay. I bet you'll upgrade. All right. Whatever. You do you, boo. I wish you all well. Get ready. It's coming. And I'll see you out there.